Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. And I would like to first mention that we have our own New York State President of Women's Council, Roseanne Paggiata, on our call today. Welcome, Roseanne.
Thank you.
And we have Eileen with us as well today, a special guest visiting. And you're in California, right, Eileen? You were the 2021 president?
Yes, ma'am. Orange County, California.
Great, and you have quite a history in green energy yourself, so I'm really happy to have you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to keep it short today. The start of the show is really going to be Elizabeth, who will be moderating, and we will start off with the Pledge of Allegiance, which Reed Whittemore will be starting with us. Thank you, Reed.
You're welcome. Good morning, everybody. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Reed. Okay, Elizabeth, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much. And thank you to everyone who is here. Most of our audience is real estate agents, and we are all here as Women's Council of Realtors to present to you energy efficiency options. And I just want to briefly explain why you as a real estate agent should care about green energy and efficiency in homes. So I'm not too sure if you are aware, but in New York State in 2019, there was a law passed called the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act. And they have some goals in mind of what they would like to accomplish. And I'm going to highlight two of the largest ones with you. One of them is they are expecting to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by 85% in 2050. And their other goal is that New York State must be operating on at least 70% on renewable energy, so the entire state. And when you look at the largest contributors of greenhouse gas emissions, buildings is number 2. So you better believe that homes and real estate is going to be either impacted or involved with achieving some of these goals. There is no guidelines yet on how they're going to accomplish this, but I'm pretty confident that we are all going to be involved one way or another. And there are going to be other laws being passed as well, but just for our sake, for the MLS that we all use to publish our listings for sale, there is a home green ratings that is part of the MLS, and soon I'm guessing is going to be mandatory, and we're all going to have to be aware of the efficiency of the homes that we are selling. So this is going to be part of your business more than you may have anticipated. And so we brought these vendors here together so that way you can be ahead of the curve and you can make these recommendations to your clients. So I can give you an example. How many of you have shown a home or listed a home for sale that had an underground oil tank? Does that sound familiar? And most of the times they're leaking. And the only solution we really have is just to move that bad boy into the basement. But now you can be even more ahead of the curve, and there's many vendors on here who can help you with that. So we will now start with our first vendor. We're going to be going in a transition from insulation and energy efficiency to clean heating and cooling, solar, and then to incentives. So I want to now give the floor to Steve from New Beginnings Window and Door. Another thing to keep in mind, please keep all questions towards the end. If you want to put them in the chat, that's okay, but to make sure we give everyone some time, each vendor is going to explain their service, how it's going to potentially help your homeowner, and how they're going to save money. So Stephen, if you want to go ahead.
Excellent. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you all for having the Hudson Valley Green team on. My name's Stephen Orefice. This is Michael Haynes. Mike's the owner of New Beginnings Window and Door. I'm the vice president of sales. We are a full service premium local window and door distributor, proudly serving the tri-state area since 2008. We do both residential and commercial. We're family owned and operated. We have 15 different manufacturers to choose from. We have each of our sales team combined has 100 years experience, and we have a 2,000 square foot showroom with live samples for you to view right here in Wappingers on Route 9D. How we can help you on the window and door side, is definitely energy efficiency. So whether you choose a vinyl, aluminum clad wood, or an all wood unit, on the window side, we can talk about those differences. And then also on the door side, depending on which unit you go with for an entry door or an interior door or an exterior door, we can give you those as well. So Mike, do you have anything to add?
No, I mean, I think that the how we can help, if you're getting ready to list a home, we really strive on the no job too big, no job too small kind of aspect also. So when you're, going into a home and getting ready to list it for a client of yours, and they have a patio door with a seal failure, and you can see the condensation between, or a couple of windows, we're not going to go in there and try and sell them something we don't need, but we will take care of that need for you, right? So, getting ready to, I think in the listing of a home, or if you have a client where you're showing a home and they need new windows and doors, and you're looking to get a price that they can help negotiate that into their, contract, after knowing what it would cost, we're one phone call away where we'll come alongside you and, and meet with your client and be able to take care of that. So, we make windows and doors simple, to put it plainly. And of course, we have all the energy efficiency aspects of it: double pane, triple pane, low argon, krypton. So we can really help you every step of the way.
The three big terms that I'll just throw out to you guys that are going to help you is the egress window, tempered glass by a slip and fall area, and also a fire door. So those are the big three things that we can help realtors with in order to get your closing move forward and help you guys, get paid quicker on your deals. We have a retail division where we're a one-stop shop. So we have 3 subcontractors that install for us. And then we have a whole new construction division that deals only with contractors, builders, architects, and property managers. So we can handle, like Mike said, all of your needs within our realm.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Stephen. And a lot of these renewable energy options would almost be obsolete if you didn't have the proper insulation, and windows is definitely a part of that. So now I want to go on to our next vendor who also deals with insulation, which is Jay from Foamco. You can go ahead and take the lead.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having us. My name is Jay Storti with Foamco Inc. We are located in Bullville, New York. We work out of a 15,000 square foot building. We have 40 members on our team that we do installs. We do everything from blown-in cellulose up to spray foam insulation. We do everything from existing walls. So if there's a house that doesn't have insulation in the walls, we can actually insulate those walls. We can do crawl spaces, attics, pretty much anything that you may come across that would need to bring it up to today's code. And we have different solutions for different problems. So, I mean, so we pretty much can handle just about anything that's out there. With our crews, we're all certified by OSHA. We're all certified by the manufacturers that we do we buy the materials from. And, we also have products that have very low VOCs, and we have green products. Most of our products that we use are recyclable products from plastic. So one particular home in a new construction using our closed cell product, there's actually 4,000 bottles that are actually recycled into our product and for that home. And then you get the blown-in cellulose, which is recycled product as well, 100%.
Great, thank you so much for that. And have you found that installing this type of insulation has helped homeowners save money on their, energy costs and heating costs?
So by using spray foam insulation, it actually air seals and tightens up the house quite a bit. So the spray foam insulation will actually be more energy efficient than your typical fiberglass by a minimum of 50%. So it definitely will increase, the energy efficiency of a home.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that. So we're going to move on now to solar. So Rick from SunPower by New York State Solar Farm, you can go ahead and take the lead.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. And great job marketing. I really enjoyed your LinkedIn post. That was really nice. Welcome, everybody. SunPower by New York State Solar Farm is a family-run company out of Ulster County. We're just south of New Paltz in a town called Modena. We are the premier, longest standing solar installer in the Hudson Valley and probably in New York. Anthony, who's also here today, is the owner and founder of SunPower by New York State Solar Farm. Been in business for 12 years, and in solar years, that's a long time, as you can imagine. Some of the things that we like to make sure that the real estate agents know about solar, really important stuff. Number one, solar is one of the few home improvements that you can make that raises the value of a home, but does not increase your taxes, does not increase your property taxes. Solar is exempt from property taxes in about 99% of the municipalities within the state. That's pretty important. The other important thing is that homes that have solar on them sell for 5 to 6% more than a similar home without solar on it. I'm not just making that up. That's a report that was done by Zillow in 2019. We could share that with you, but in New York, you can count on it being 5 to 6% more valuable than a house without solar on it. In addition to that, our footprint goes from the Bronx line all the way north to Saratoga, New York, and we also do Western Connecticut. We not only install solar, but we also install Tesla Powerwall batteries, and we have a showroom where you're welcome to stop by. We'd love to show it off. It is completely solar powered, and it is just a great model for people to see solar at work. The best time to go solar is when a person is moving into a new home, whether it's a new build or they're just moving in, they just bought it. Rather than spending the money paying for electricity from their utility, whether it's Con Ed or anybody else in New York State, it's cheaper to finance a solar system than it is to buy that same amount of electricity from the utility. Hands down, let us show you how to do it. And I'm sure there'll be many questions, and we look forward to answering them all.
Thank you, Rick. And that's a very interesting point that you brought up, that it does not increase taxes, because that's definitely a major concern, especially for homeowners in lower New York. Most things require a permit to be taken out, even something like a deck or a shed, and instantly that's changing the assessment of that property. In terms, I do have a question. In terms of installing solar panels, do you have a lease option for homeowners?
Yeah, we're very proud that we have a lease option that is the only lease that is offered by a solar panel manufacturer, SunPower, the only one. We also have financing and cash options available, all with zero down.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So now I want to head over to heating and cooling. So if Scott from RYCOR, I don't know if there's another cute way to say that.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So I am the owner of RYCOR Heating and Cooling in New Paltz, New York. My name is Scott Arnold. We've been in business for 16 years. Coming back from Las Vegas, learned the value of heat pumps. That's all they really use there. So when I started my company 16 years ago, and I returned to New York, we decided to focus in on heat pumps, and that's all we've done. We don't do anything else, no plumbing or electrical, just clean heat. So we are actually the only New York State certified, fully recognized clean heat distributor. The way to gain that level of recognition is to have 100% pass rate on all of the clean heat inspections following the installations, and to this point, the only company to maintain that status. So we've been representing Mitsubishi electric heat pumps from the beginning, and we currently make up 23% of Mitsubishi electric sales in all of the Northeast. So we do about 70% of the rebates that are being handed out through the New York State Clean Heat Program. The way that looks for us is we have a consultation process where we go meet with your client or a homeowner or building owner, commercial, residential, industrial, everything qualifies. And we evaluate the home, do a manual J, and put together a system that will qualify for the program. We follow that ball right down the field to collecting 100% of the rebate money that's available, all paperwork involved. So the way that we could probably help you guys would be, say, for example, you have a client, I think it was mentioned that maybe there's an oil tank or something in the basement, and this client is somebody who's energy minded or environmentally minded. We'd be happy to come on over and have a consultation and provide a full proposal of what the actual cost of a conversion would be and what the cost of the homeowner would be. It's usually a little bit less than half of the total project. We do about 3 to 5 homes a day, full conversion, and we're expanding. We have 31 installers now. So that means to the homeowner, no more oil tanks, no more fuel deliveries, no more carbon monoxide in their house. They regain square footage, so they can regain that mechanical room. That's really appealing for a lot of new home buyers. Get that fossil fuel out of the house and no more chimneys, and it's a greener, cleaner way to be. So we are a turnkey process from the time you call us to the time it's done. We don't ask for a deposit until the work is complete. Yeah, so that's what we do.
Thank you, Scott. And how would you say the costs would compare for someone who transitions from oil heat to the electric heating system?
It's a great question. And there are a bunch of factors that play into that. Certainly insulating and windows are a couple of the very biggest factors. Every home is a little bit different in the way it's constructed. But what Mitsubishi corporate will say, and they have to be careful with what they say, is that it's 40% minimally cheaper. I experienced in my own home an 80% savings. So I think that what I hear my customers and clients tell me mostly is between 50 and 70% less expensive to heat with a heat pump and recycle your heat instead of burning fuel to make new heat. And it's a great place to be right now, especially with the initiatives put forth with the state and their targets.
Great. And do you have any financing options available for homeowners who do want to transition to this type of system?
Absolutely. So the half of the rebate that is, the half of the project is paid for by the government is kind of easy. We could take that on a reassignment, so they don't have to pay it up front. They could sign a little paper and we'll wait for that money to come from the government. Or they could get it back to them in the form of a paper check. It's not a thing you bring to your accountant at the end of the year. 2 months after you leave, the check comes in the mail and you could, pay down the loan, go shopping. But the other half of that, we do have 0% interest financing available for, and there's a variety of programs that we have for that. So very realistically, when we leave the home, the client can have put no money down and just wait for their payment book in the mail, and their payment can literally be less than what they were spending in oil just to heat the home. So it's a net positive thing with no money down right from the first day. Then, whatever the plan is, whether it's 18 months up to 11 years, we have all kinds of financing plans. Once the plan is paid off, it's 100% positive income to them in the money that they're saving in their heating and cooling costs. Not to mention that you're getting the ductwork out of the house, so there's no leak in air disease or bacteria that they're breathing. They're not breathing the air or the sins of all the other homeowners that were there before them. It's a very clean way to start in a new home. And it's zonal comfort, so each room can be adjusted to its own temperature. You could be heating in one room and cooling in another, or dehumidifying in another. So there's a lot of zonal comfort there as well.
All right, thank you so much for that. And another very important component of all of this is when you transition to some of these new renewable energy options, there's also a health component to it. Yeah. As you just mentioned. So that's also equally as important. So now we're going to head on to BlocPower with Ian. They're a little bit more unique in what they do. So I'm going to let Ian kind of explain their services and how they can help our homeowners. So Ian.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for allowing me to join everyone this morning. I hope everyone is well. My name is Ian. I'm from the BlocPower team. We are a clean tech startup that has been in existence for close to 9 years now. Our sole goal is assisting building owners from multifamilies to single-family homes, to houses of worships with transitioning to a cleaner, healthier, and smarter future by upgrading their heating systems, their HVAC systems throughout their properties that they own or manage. I'm excited to hear that Scott is on the line as well, as we do need more individuals that are assisting towards a clean energy future for all of us. As Scott mentioned, there are multiple facets to the benefits of making those transitions. Might it be from a financial, a bottom line, to a health incentives that are not generally thought about when you are making that transition, but there are an abundance of benefits by you electrifying your heating systems throughout your property. To date, we have successfully retrofitted over 1,200 buildings throughout the country. A majority of the properties that we have worked on to date have been in the greater New York City area, but we are fortunate enough to also have projects that have been established in Baltimore, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Oakland, and we're looking to expand in the coming months. So, our team is primarily currently focused on electrification and assisting building owners with installing heat pumps, but we do have experience working in the solar. We have experience working with lighting upgrades. So we are a one-stop shop. We are assisting these building owners with making their buildings cleaner and smarter, depending on the needs that they may possess. We too have a lease offer that we are deploying for various building types and various building owners that assist these individuals with making that transition by installing heat pumps. It's a no money down lease offer that includes operation and maintenance for the lifespan of the lease itself. Understanding that this is a real estate community, the value that one could possess by assisting a building owner that they are a recent homeowner, but they do realize that they need to make a large capital improvement, maybe they don't have the necessary funds to make that. So by deploying the lease offer, it is something that we've found to be very beneficial in the market. As mentioned, there's no money down. And then the additional benefits that can be associated with the lease offer, might it be the operation and maintenance to help them to maintain the equipment for years to come.
Great, thank you so much. And if I understand correctly, you also have a component where you can install monitors into a home to find out where there might be some energy efficiency improvements, and that's how you make those recommendations?
Absolutely. Leveraging of technology is something that we've always found to be very valuable. So having that holistic approach to identify where the biggest need may be, but also on the back end, right? You are making a capital investment, and it's our best interest to ensure that we are showing you the returns year over year once you've made that decision to go to a cleaner or more renewable source.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that. So now we're going to transition into geothermal. I've heard many people discuss it in New York, but I know a lot of people are still maybe confused or interested in how they can even explain this to their clients. So I'm going to transition now to Kathy from Dandelion Energy.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me this morning. So geothermal is not so different than what Scott from RYCOR was describing with mini splits, or Ian from BlocPower with air source heat pumps. But it's a type of heat pump that actually it's connected to what's called a ground loop, which are buried. These are plastic pipes buried in the yard. And it allows that heat pump to take advantage of the fact that the ground maintains a constant temperature year round. So it allows the homeowner to really maximize their savings through increased efficiency of that heat pump. This is a great solution for homes or homeowners that want to keep their existing ductwork and distribution system and have their heat pump be not visible. So this heat pump just sits in the mechanical room where the furnace used to be, or in the basement, and then the ground loops, you can't see them, they're under the yard. And then the ductwork is used as it would otherwise be. Some of your questions you've asked to other people, so you can expect, so a typical sort of savings profile for a customer, a lot of New York homeowners that use fuel oil are spending on the order of around $3,000 a year on fuel oil. They'll spend about $1,000 to run a geothermal heat pump. So it's about a $2,000 savings per year. Of course, that does vary by home, as other panelists have said. These systems last for 25 years, so it's a very long-lasting investment, and they're very low maintenance. So some of the benefits are one system does both heating and cooling, which is true for all heat pumps. And you don't have to worry about things like fuel oil deliveries. Like the other heat pumps, they have great incentives from the state of New York, because the state of New York recognizes that, as you said at the very beginning, the only way to meet greenhouse gas emissions targets is to electrify heating. So they are very generously subsidizing heat pumps. So it's a great time to do it. And I think when one is buying a home, you know, if you have a homeowner or prospective homeowner looking at homes, sometimes people will be disappointed or not thrilled about the idea of buying a home where they need to worry about fuel oil or propane delivery. And I think getting heat pumps installed is a very cost-effective and appropriate choice in that situation, because you can replace sort of a gross and expensive heating system with one that is quiet, clean, and long-lasting. And yeah, getting it done before you move in obviously allows you to sidestep any hassle that you would experience. And then the last thing I'll say is we are also a turnkey solution. So one of the reasons that homeowners choose to work with us is that we make geothermal systems very simple. So we do the design, the installation, we manage everything, we apply for the incentives. So homeowners don't have to do too much to get them installed. We provide financing, or some people choose to pay up front.
Great, thank you so much, Kathy. So far you have all heard of different insulation options for homeowners and different renewable energy options. Now we're going to transition to Lauren from Sustainable Westchester, which is a local nonprofit that pretty much covers everything from solar to electric vehicles to composting. Like, they literally do everything sustainable. Lauren is from the EnergySmart Homes department, which deals with, again, some of the heating and cooling options we heard, but she's going to go over all of the incentives that your homeowner could apply for. So you might have heard that word quite a few times from all of the different panelists. So she's going to explain some of the ones specific to New York that your homeowner would be able to apply for. So Lauren, you can go ahead and take the stage.
Great. Thanks, Elizabeth, for having me today. And it's nice to see everybody on this call. I actually have a PowerPoint, if you don't mind. I'm going to share that just so as we're talking about these things, if there's a screenshot you want to take, or if you're a visual learner, you've got some pictures of the technologies that we're talking about here. So just a brief little shout out. Sustainable Westchester, as Elizabeth was saying, is a nonprofit consortium of Westchester County governments, and it's our goal really to enable sustainability programming to help ensure a better future for our communities. And even though the work I'll be talking about today is concentrated in Westchester, the programs for home energy efficiency and heat pumps are definitely statewide. So while we represent these areas in Westchester, most of the programs that I'm going to talk about could apply no matter where you are in the state. And we're not going to be touching on these other programs today, but just a quick shout out that Sustainable Westchester certainly can help you or members of your community with many areas of going green. If it's from community choice aggregation, electric vehicles, a demand response program called Grid Rewards, or zero waste solutions, we can certainly help. So today, through our EnergySmart Homes program, I just wanted to touch on a lot of the things that the contractors have mentioned already and just dive in a little bit deeper to that. So so we are part of NYSERDA's Clean Heating and Cooling Communities, and NYSERDA is the New York State Energy and Research Development Authority. And I just like to point that out because it is a statewide authority that we are all helping to fund. So next time you get your utility bill, If you take a look at all those different charges, one will be for the system's benefit charge, which helps to fund NYSERDA. And I point that out because even though I say a lot of these programs are free, there's great rebates and incentives, well, really it's our tax dollars that are helping to fund the program. So why not take advantage of something that we're really all collectively helping to support anyway? So like I said, the rebates and incentives are statewide. This is a map of the different community teams. So no matter where you are, there's a community group that can help you figure out which contractor to choose or which program might be best for you. So we're here working in Westchester, but if you are somewhere else, you can reach out to us and we'll help connect you. We're here to help homeowners and building owners get into the process of energy efficiency and clean heating and cooling so people can call on the phone, give an email, and we'll work with them to figure out which technology is best for their home, how to go about selecting a contractor, and figuring out the rebates and incentives that are available to them. We have a list of 10 contractors that we recommend, and Kathy from Dandelion represents one of the 10 on our list. And they are all certified to work via the NYSERDA programs and the Con Ed programs as well. And we have interviews with the contractors, so they're vetted by local volunteer groups, which is really helpful when going ahead to pick a contractor. And this has been pointed out before in the call as well. Why are we addressing buildings? We're addressing them because this is where so much of our carbon emissions are coming from in New York State. And also we know people are spending a lot of money to heat and cool their houses. So why don't we address that? Give green solutions, save money, save energy. It works for the buyers and the sellers of the homes. So the 4 major technologies that people can kind of interact with when they're making their home more energy efficient through these NYSERDA programs are home energy efficiency, air source heat pumps, ground source heat pumps, and a heat pump hot water heater. And we know that people's houses are different, so that's why we offer different solutions for different homes. This is just a quick list of some of our partner contractors in Westchester County. And now I have slides broken up by the technology that I'm just going to zoom through really fast. But if there's questions, we can return back to the slides or I can share the presentation after. But really for all of the homes, we want to start with a home energy assessment to diagnose how the house is using energy. It's really important that we're adding insulation, just like Jay was talking about, to make sure your house is sealed up and nice and tight, and then heat pump ready. So the state offers different incentives based off of someone's income. For an average income earner, they can participate through the Comfort Home Pilot to access rebates between $500 and $4,000 to do things like get new windows, added insulation, air sealing. And then there's higher assistance levels for people with lower income. So the Assisted Home Performance Program can help homeowners that qualify for enhanced star property tax exemption and can help them to get a discount of 50% on their project up to $5,000. So there's significant rebates and incentives out there, as well as the Empower program, which is helpful for homeowners, renters, condo owners, people that are qualifying for SNAP or HEAP assistance can tap into a rebate of up to $10,000 for energy upgrades in their homes. And I know I'm moving fast through these, but it's just to plant the seed that there's money out there to do this work and we should definitely take advantage of it. So the three types of heat pumps that we're going to talk about quickly are the air source heat pumps. So was it Scott? Yeah, Scott from RYCOR was talking about air source heat pumps. If you're unfamiliar with them, you've seen them before. This one is a ductless mini split, sits high up on the wall, has an inside head and an outside unit, which is right here. This is a good solution for people's homes that are not ever going to install ductwork. If the house is just not feasible to install, then we're going to want to look towards an air source heat pump. And they're great because they can provide heating and cooling in one room or in the whole house. It's applicable to do it both ways. And here's the good news. So Con Ed is offering rebates between $10,000 and $14,000 for an average size home. NYSEG a little bit less, but that's because the utility prices are a little bit less in the NYSEG area. And ground source heat pump, now we're touching on what Dandelion offers, what Kathy was talking about for heating your home and cooling your home. So ground source heat pumps are a good solution for people that have existing ductwork in their home already, or they're interested in installing it. Ground source heat pumps are a great way to reduce or to give yourself more space in your yard. This is a picture of a happy Dandelion customer, Jen in Katona. She was really happy she had more room for planting for pollinators in her yard because she had no more outside unit to deal with. And the rebates are here listed on the screen. So not only are there rebates and incentives from the utilities, but there's also a federal tax credit of 26% on geothermal. So quite significant. And the last one, heat pump hot water heater. So this is something that you might be thinking about even more frequently because heat pump hot water heaters need to be replaced every 10 to 15 years. So heat pump hot water heaters are the most efficient way to heat and cool water. No, not cool, just heat water in your home. So this is a great solution for people who are thinking about replacing their hot water heater right away. And there's a $1,000 rebate from Con Ed. These units are typically more expensive than the average hot water heater, but they're so efficient, they pay themselves back quite quickly. And if you're interested in learning more, we have about 7 events, webinars with our partner contractors throughout the month of April. If you wanted to join them, just head over to sustainablewestchester.org/webinar. You can sign up for the webinars there. And we have a lot of resources on the website as well. And I wanted to add this to the screen, but I forgot. We have a presentation coming up with HGAR in 2 weeks. We actually have 2 different presentations. Robeson is hosting a panel about electrification in homes that we'll be speaking on. I think that's in 2 weeks. And then in May, we'll be hosting a session with HGAR with the Association for Energy Affordability, talking about the home energy score. So this is going back to what Elizabeth was mentioning at the beginning of the call about incorporating energy efficiency into the MLS listings and what may be coming down the pike for New York State. So that date hasn't been set yet, but keep an eye. If you're part of HGAR, that session will be rolling out soon. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Lauren, for that in-depth information. And I see that Marcy also included something in the chat where there's many resources available where you can find a lot of these incentives. So, you know, whatever your opinion was beforehand about renewable energy or energy efficiency, that maybe perhaps it's something that's expensive or not feasible for most people to do, it's actually becoming more accessible, especially with these new laws that have been passed that I mentioned at the beginning of the call. They're definitely providing a lot of incentives to make it easier, especially for residents of New York State. Before we end the call, I do want to open it up for any questions that some of you may have for our panelists. If you have a question, you can either unmute yourself or raise your hand. I see Marianne, you have a question, you can go ahead. Just make sure you unmute yourself.
I have solar panels now, and my concern is, should I be worried that they could become outdated?
That's a great question, Marianne. Typically, when you are, when somebody designs a system for you, they're designing it for as much power as you need at that time. The typical way that I answer that question is no. If you're getting 100% of your electricity now, what do you care whether or not the iPhone 12 or 14 or 15 comes out? The whole idea is you're not paying Con Ed. That's the best one.
That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, you can go ahead. I see you have your hand raised.
Hi, we're looking to find a solar panel contractor for a 13 units condominium building in big scale. I'm not sure if that, somebody from this group can give us like an overview of their service or, and their quote.
I think you were interested in a commercial building. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a commercial. It's a residential building. It's a condominium building.
Okay.
The people live in it, but we are considering, to install the solar panel for,
So what I would say is, yes, we absolutely do commercial buildings, and Anthony is our commercial person. Probably a little bit too lengthy of an answer to do at this time, but Anthony could give you an idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you contact us and I could walk you through that process. It's no problem at all.
Okay, if you could, yeah, give me, Elizabeth, your contact so that I can reach out to her to obtain your, contact information, and then we can set our meeting or,
Yeah, I'll
something like that.
definitely send out an email connecting both. But just to clarify your question, were you asking if someone is in a condominium building, like in their personal unit, if they can install solar panels? Was that the
No,
question?
no. This is the whole building.
Oh, the whole thing, they want to do it. Okay, that's
Yes.
even better. So I'll definitely make sure I have both of your emails, so I'll make sure to connect you to SunPower.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Eileen, you may go ahead. I see your hand is raised.
Roseanne was before me.
My apologies. Go
That's
ahead,
okay.
Roseanne.
No worries.
Are you talking to me, Roseanne Farrow?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I'm hardly ever in a program where there's two Roseannes and spelled the same way. So hey, I'm a real estate instructor. I teach the green course, which is why I joined today, always looking for new tips. And I live in Newburgh, New York. My question is to Scott, or maybe the others, but probably Scott. Scott, regarding solar, would you agree that the solar farms are becoming more of a trend rather than somebody sticking panels in their yard or on their roof?
So I appreciate you asking that question very much. And I'm going to probably rely on my colleague, Rick, to answer that question. I definitely see a mixed bag of both of those things. Personally, I have them on my roof. I have them on my commercial building shortly. Love owning them personally, but Rick might be able to answer those questions a little bit more effectively.
Okay.
Yes, so community solar is awesome. Rooftop solar is amazing. Regardless of how you go, community solar is more geared to people who are renters, who don't own their building, don't own their roof, condos, townhomes, so forth, and or homes that either for one reason or another, structurally, or maybe they have a lot of trees. Awesome option. When it comes to comparing the savings from community solar versus rooftop solar, the easy way to do it is you can save hundreds of dollars with community solar over years. With rooftop solar, you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the same period of time.
Huh. So it's that big of a difference. I guess I wasn't aware. There's a brand new giant solar farm being built on Lakeside Road in the town of Newburgh.
That's Anthony's backyard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's right down the street from Orange Lake where I am. Yeah. So
that's where he is.
Yeah.
I actually live on Raymond Avenue in the town of Newburgh also, Roseanne. So
Okay. Yeah. So I guess I'm being misinformed going to all those board meetings at the town, the zoning meetings. I thought it was just like apples and apples, just like it's not something sticking on your roof, but it's easier. You can just buy into it, but it's not. You're saying that one in your own yard or on your own roof makes more profitability wise makes more sense.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
Happy to inform you more on that too.
Yeah, I probably will reach out to you before I teach green again. And I have a little other course that I wrote called Green Housing, and it's just a little 3-hour thing. And I will probably reach out to you. I've been using the Murphy Brothers, information. They let me snag pictures off their website and everything because they're pretty well known for building those types of homes. You know who they are, right? No?
Yeah, and for those who might not be familiar with community solar because it is something that's a little bit newer, it's essentially a very large solar farm that could be built either on a vacant lot or on top of a building. And what they do is they allow neighboring homes to kind of take energy from that farm, and they usually get a 10% discount off their utility bill. So that's how that usually operates. So that could be something like was mentioned, something that's better for a tenant, or maybe someone who doesn't have the capital funds to install solar, even after all the incentives and everything. So it's kind of like a backup plan, but definitely.
But from the investor point of view, I would guess, I don't know, maybe they're set up like the wind turbines in terms of it being a REIT, real estate investment trust, where people can buy into it. So is that a good investment too?
That's
Yeah,
a good question. I'm not too sure about the buy-in process. I haven't.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of looking, like thinking bigger, like if you're going to invest money into something, maybe why not invest into a sustainable planet,
Yeah, absolutely. Those are great questions. So now, Eileen, I think, are you next now?
I think so. So I just want to congratulate you on having such a great program today and bringing value to your members. I too am an AR Green instructor, and I've learned a few things today. It's always great to see what's happening in different parts of the country. But I also want to just bring up a topic about, as you're thinking about making your home more energy efficient and helping your buyers and sellers educate themselves on the importance of energy efficiency. Yes, you are helping the environment, absolutely, but you're also helping your homeowner by teaching them that there's all different approaches that you can use to help make your home a healthier place to live. There's indoor air quality that we touched a little bit upon when we were going through all the different vendors, and we're spending a lot more time in our homes. Obviously, we're going to be leaving our homes in the very near future, but indoor air quality is huge, and that is where you can start tackling it by replacing your windows so they're no longer drafty and bringing in dust and pollen. Or you can change out your HVAC system. So sometimes with the ductwork, there's little creatures that are in there, little things that are in there in your attic. And so it's like you really need to think of all of these vendors as being your resource for a healthy, durable home. And that it's a whole house approach. So if you are insulating your attic, you may want to think about, cleaning out your duct system. If you are doing a geothermal, you may want to think about doing better insulation so you can keep all that air that you're paying for inside your home and not leaking outside. And also thinking about where you have moisture collecting in your home, because you don't want to have damp and mildew and mold. So it's a whole house approach to make a healthy home and a more durable home. And that also, if you add all of these things up, you can increase the value of your home. So you could buy solar to increase your home, but there's also other things you can do to increase the value of your home as well. And I do have a question for Stephen, our door and window people. There's a lot of older homes that have historical windows on there, and we get this a question a lot about, should you replace the windows that are 100, 200 years old, or should you insulate around them? So how do you answer that question?
So I'll jump in and take the lead on this. The cop-out answer is it's a case-by-case basis, right? Looking at the condition, there are a lot of factors. And, the nice thing about, in today's technology, we can legitimately make an historically correct window for any time period that has thermal pane glass, that has low E, that still has your true divided light. Clearly that gets us into a completely different realm, budget wise than a one-off window, but we legitimately can take a window and historically recreate it in a thermal paned application. So right down to weight and chains to, everything. So if somebody has a very minimal budget, once the old is gone, you can't ever get it back. So we're very hesitant to, you know, recreate or redesign something in an older home that isn't historically correct. But there are, the good news is there are applications and product made now that I can meet every energy code and efficiency in today's market and still historically keep the home correct with a full wood window, etc.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would just say, just speeding off that real quick is you know, all of our windows are made with a double pane. So the important concepts for you guys is the low E coating that refers to the UV light, and then also the argon gas filled panes, which is, you know, makes the windows more dense for the heat and cold exchange. So those are things that you guys got to worry about. All of our windows are Energy Star, which is the 0.28 in the northern region that we sell. So all of our manufacturers provide that. That's a base level of our window. So the technology has increased. For the historically, you know, built homes that Mike was talking about, we're going to go with an aluminum clad wood. So on the exterior, we use a powder coated application to handle all different weather conditions. And on the interior, you could do a pre-painted from the factory finish in many different colors, you know, which is on the interior of the home, so doesn't take a hit from any type of weather, and still keep that flavor of the house.
Okay, so we're going to take these last two questions up here, and then we're going to raffle off the basket that the Hudson Valley Green team had put together. So JC, I know you've been patiently waiting. You can go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you for this whole session and everything. This question is more directed to, I guess, Rick and Anthony regarding solar panels. Doesn't matter which side of the house, or like if you're facing north, south, whatever, for the panels. That's one thing. The second thing is, does it matter if your roof is flat or slanted? I've heard different things. I've gone to different, what do you call those? Like home show type things, and people have given different advice, but I want an expert to tell me.
I love it. I love it. So yes, it does make a difference on the side of the house, specifically in Westchester, where there are a lot of trees. We want to stay away from the trees, obviously, but pretty much every house has at least one good roof. My house, my solar panels face directly east, and I get 100% of my electricity from my solar panels. So whether it's east, west, south, we try to stay away from north because typically that's not a good efficient roof. And as far as the steepness of the pitch of the roof or flat, yes, we do both of them. Flat's not bad. We have a couple of different jobs that we have done that are flat roofs, and we put what they call a tilt rack on there that gives it an artificial tilt towards the sun. And we do plenty of those. So I think I answered both of your questions there.
Yes. And I'm sorry, one last question. What is the cost? Like I would say, like per square foot, or how do you determine the cost of everything?
What I can tell you without a doubt, the electricity that would be, you would be buying the same amount of electricity from Con Ed. If you financed your system, you would be paying less for the same amount of electricity, a lot less than you're paying Con Ed for that same amount of electricity.
Gotcha. Because like way back when it was like someone told me $90,000 a panel. I'm like, that's a lot. So.
It's a lot less than that. If your average bill with Con Ed is $150, you can finance the system for like $100. How's that?
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Just to add to that real quick, we did a passive home in the city of Newburgh historic district where they actually had a flat roof, and we did a ballasted system on the top, and it was a really great project working with the local builder and doing that. And they did it all for affordable income, heat pumps, everything involved in it. It was a pretty awesome project.
All right, great. Thank you
so very much. Thank you.
All right, Barbara, go ahead.
Just to follow up with that specific comment just now, the Newburgh property, there's a property down here called Valeria. They took the exterior doors of this period compound of a it happens to be condominiums now, but they took the exterior period doors and put them inside the house as double door entries to master suites or to other rooms in the house. They didn't discard them. So they used them, repurposed them. So maybe, that's a good answer for why, yes, you need they want to conserve heat, obviously. They have a power plant that powers this whole extended compound of buildings, and they're stone with thick walls. So they were retrofitted with new doors. I wish they used New Beginnings, but the interior doors will repurpose. The other thing is the future is here. The SEER rating is already on the one key HGA or HGAR MLS data entry field. So pretty soon it'll be the HERS rating, but this one rates, it has a field where you can enter the rating for your seasonal energy efficiency. So the future is here already in our MLS.
Yeah, that's a great point, Barbara. So again, like I mentioned, you all will be part of this journey, whether you had anticipated to be on it or not. But realtors are going to have a large part in this goal to reduce emissions and getting 70% of all of New York State under renewable energy. So definitely keep your eye out, and having all this information up front is definitely going to make it easier for you to understand what is happening. So now I want to give the floor to, I think, Chris, who's going to help us with the raffles. Is that how we're going to do this? Okay. So yeah, so the green team, Hudson Valley, which consists of New Beginnings Window and Door, SunPower, Solar Farm, Foamco, and RYCOR. RYCOR, sorry, RYCOR. They have put together this fantastic basket of all of your gardening essentials that you will need. Plus, there is a $100 gift card to Dunkin' Donuts in there. So for everyone who has stayed on the call, you are going to be a lucky recipient of this. How are we picking out the winner?
I've got my champagne glass here.
All right.
The potential names, I will just pull somebody out. Get just one.
I hope I win.
I want those gardening tools.
Marcy Cleveland.
Marcy!
Oh.
Where is she?
She on the call? Yeah, all right.
Marcy Cleveland. Got it.
I was eyeing all that garden stuff because I was out in my garden this weekend pulling up weeds and everything. So
$150 value for the gardening. So
hey,
good stuff.
Green team.
Just in time for hummingbird migration in the Northeast next week.
Marcy's been in our office before, so she knows where to pick up the basket.
Yay.
Very good.
I owe you guys a visit anyway.
That's awesome.
Send us a picture, Marcy.
Okay, I will.
All right, so before we conclude this event, if there's any other questions, we might have time for one more, but what we will do is after this event, we will send out a recording and the information of each vendor. So if you have additional questions or want to set up a consultation with them, you'll be able to do that. And I've already promised to connect Ha with SunPower, and then also I'll connect Mary Prennon with New Beginnings Window and Door, because I saw that she commented she wanted an estimate. So you'll definitely have all the information, so don't feel concerned that you didn't get everyone's contact information. That will be sent out later. But again, thank you everyone for joining and being part of this new goals that New York State has, and being a part of it and being open to listening to us.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, everybody, for having us.